Wake 'em up! Hi, how's it going? It's Julio. Today I got a special guest. We're going to be interviewing a probation officer, which is going to be really cool. Before we get into the interview, I want to encourage you guys, if you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. And all right, without any further ado, if you could tell us your name.
My name is Dave Sheffer.
And where do you work, sir?
I work at Probation.
All right. Could you give us like a small description of like what's a regular day at probation? What is that like being a probation officer?
Well, we're given caseloads of people that committed crimes, everything from minor things, misdemeanors, to felony type crimes, and we all carry a caseload, some more than others, sometimes over 100 people or more. And it's our job as probation officers to make sure they follow through with what the court wants them to do, and bigger than that really is to turn them in the right direction that will put them on the right path, and mostly the eternal path is what I'm focusing on, though that's not the purpose of the worldly probation. But
how many years have you been doing that?
It has been about 23, 24 years.
23, 24. Wow. That's it. Wow. And as a Christian, how did your coworkers first, if you could remember, how did the people that work with you respond when they found out you were a Christian, or how did that come about, them finding out you were a Christian?
Well, it all first started when I was interviewed for the job.
Okay.
One of the supervisors there came to me after the interview, and he said, "Dave, I want to tell you something. You are one of the calmest people we ever interviewed." And so it gave me a perfect inroad to share the Lord, briefly with him.
That's awesome.
And I said, "Well, I just trusted the Lord, and He took care of the rest. And if it was meant to be, then that's what I wanted." And so that's how he was the first really that I kind of
right at the
witnessed to right at the interview.
That's excellent.
And so so that was the beginning of it. And,
what about the co-workers?
Well, and after that, I was trying to remember back then, but a lot of co-workers.
Recently, either way.
Yeah. Generally, co-workers, they tend to be, if they're not Christian, they kind of have this standoffish a little bit from me and from others that know the Lord there. And they really kind of not, it kind of tiptoe a little bit around you. My more recent supervisors, they know I'm a Christian, and they know it even before I even tell them that, because other people have told them.
Awesome.
And
testimony.
Yeah, exactly. And so if I get in, I've noticed I could walk in a room, and some of these supervisors, they like to cuss and swear and do stuff like that, and I could walk in a room and all of a sudden it stops. Just because, not always, but they change their whole thought on it. I mean, I've had people say to me, "Well, don't talk like that, because Dave has virgin ears." And I said, "Yeah, I've heard it all before, but not that I care to continue to hear it, because that's not really what the Lord wants to fill my ears with." But so that's the world side of it. Then there are other
the Christian side of it.
Yeah.
How's that been?
It's always been a great opportunity to be able to share with those that aren't really walking close with the Lord. Recently, one of my ones that just sit right next to me, we had a situation. We're talking politics. Can be a great segue to talking about the Lord, only because people have a lot of fear about the current situation. And so I said something to one of my coworkers was saying, "Well, you really got to worry about this, and you got to worry about that, and what about when we do this?" And I said to her, I said, "God hasn't made us to be fearful, but to be faithful. To be full of faith, to operate our lives on faith, not on fear."
Yeah.
And I said, I know that you have said that you know God, and so if you do, then I just want to encourage you that respond to these situations with faith, trusting that God has it all in His hand, and then you won't be walking in fear and in doubt and wondering what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So that was just one example, but there have been many others.
Awesome. Have you been able to share your faith with the non-believing coworkers to any degree?
I have. It doesn't happen real often. I remember, now this is quite a ways back, even before I was working at probation, but back then I had a child that the Lord decided he wanted him more than I did. Yeah. And after, when that happened, in the midst of that, I had lots of people, co-workers, asking me, now where's your faith? And it created a perfect opportunity to share Christ with all of them. Yeah. And I'm a firm believer that God creates or allows the events in your life for a purpose. Yeah. And that's to be a testimony, a witness unto Him. And I had brothers and sisters of my own family that came to me afterwards and said, we can't believe how you're responding to this. And it gave me a perfect segue to, share the Lord with them. And a couple of them came to know the Lord through that. Awesome. And more currently, I've had people that will ask me some questions here or there, but it generally happens around maybe their own struggles in their life. Like one coworker is going through a cancer situation, and so she was talking to me, and that brought up. She said, "I knew about. Someone told me about your child and all that kind of stuff." And I just said, I just trusted the Lord, and I put it in His hands, and that's what you need to be able to do, because that's where you'll find your rest, is in Him. And I just told her I'd be praying for her. And so that those types of situations, a lot of times you just say you'll be praying for them and ask them if they need any prayer or anything like that. And because coworkers these days that don't know the Lord real well, they have too many things that they can trust in outside of God. And so God creates those struggles in their lives so we can step in there and share the Lord with them.
Either creates or allows them. One or the other happens.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
And that's great, using your, your what happened to you, passing away of your child, and being able to be faithful and trusting the Lord despite. That is great, and you being a great testimony. That's what it's about.